Welcome back. You're watching Point of View. I'm Mark Leishman. My special guest is Matthew Macfie. He's Sales and Marketing Manager for CRV Ambreed. And I understand big changes in your whole setup in the Waikato.
Yeah, we have. We've recently just moved to a new site, which is, if everyone, like I said earlier, knows where we are between Cambridge and Hamilton, we're no longer at that Cambridge Road site. Probably as the crow flies, about 6 or 7 k's back or west. There's this fantastic new facility that we've moved into. It's been purpose-built for us, 35 hectares of quarantinable bull farm, collection facility, laboratory, distribution service. It really is something quite impressive. Now, that whole site also has just recently gone through the process of being EU approved, so that we're able to then export this our New Zealand dairy genetics to the EU, and then there's a lot that goes around getting confirmed to be able to do that. And that entire site is now EU qualified. So even our New Zealand product is now collected under these kinds of conditions, which is
So how much sort of livestock do you have there? How many bulls?
Oh look, there's a number of bulls. We have another property out also out towards Raglan, where our bulls in waiting, if you like, and there's a fair few hundred sitting out there waiting for us. But the 35 hectares it's pretty full, and we're in full swing now, making sure that we getting the product in, getting it frozen, getting it packed, and sent out to our farmers.
So you've got your team working now as your peak period, presumably, is it?
Yeah, it is. It's
around and doing the old AI.
Yeah. The whole mixture of all hands to the pumps in Hamilton from a distribution point of view, with getting the stock packed into the banks, filled with liquid nitrogen, and distributed out to our nearly 300 techs and thousands. We've got a fair few thousand customers. Making a lot of them are DIY people as well, so they'll do their own inseminations, but getting the product on farm is that's just the logistics of our industry. And then there's additional challenges with it's been such a good winter in Southland that people are now calling and saying, "Oh, can I want to start a week earlier?" And if we have AI technicians who may be travelling from the North Island to the South Island to go and do that work, logistically it's challenging. It's not insurmountable, but it's no different really to any other year. It's just the nature of the beast. It's a bottleneck time.
Now, I understand you're making some sort of progress with breeding facial eczema tolerant size. And this is a big breakthrough, I imagine, is it?
Yeah, it is. It's a big breakthrough, and we've had this product for a few years now, and perhaps haven't been able to get the reach of it out to all dairy farmers. If you talk to anybody in the sheep industry, they're acutely aware of the decades of work that has gone into breeding facial eczema tolerance into their flocks around the countryside. And it's just something that's not really hasn't been discussed or even looked at it as an option within the dairy industry. So it's something that we've now got some very good animals coming on, as in bull stock, high indexing bulls, high merit bulls, coming online now to add to our team, which breeds facial eczema tolerance into the herd. We have a number of customers around the country who are now over in the Wakatani and that sort of Bay of Plenty area, where they have issues with it. And of course this year, all over the country, it was really
terrible,
bad. Yeah, I was down in Hara. That was a place that doesn't really have an issue with it, and this year it was really bad. And a lot of it is, you can't see the effects of it as well. That's affecting the organs inside the animal. But that affects
and farmers not used to having to deal with it, I suppose.
Well, correct. And unfortunately, what has really been the quick and easiest fix is to treat the symptom.
Yeah.
So they put some zinc in, and there's other treatments you can do, and they treat it. But by then it's nearly too late. And it doesn't sort of matter what the value of an animal is if she or 3 of them have to be culled out because the facial eczema has affected them. If you're able to breed a tolerance into them, then that's been a good key. And using genetics, it's something that will be, we have some other products also online and coming online, that genetics can be used as one of the tools in a toolbox that a farmer has for fighting some of these problems that they have on their farm. So,
are there any other farm problems that you can think of that
there's another
genetics are solving? Or?
Yeah, there's one that we've got coming out next year, which is a polled genetic. So while that's not new, but to the world, we're able now to breed polled genetics, which means the calves are born hornless. So there's no debudding that is required. Now, debudding in Europe, in some countries in Europe, has already been banned purely from a animal welfare, public perception point of view.
Yes.
Look, and I was fortunate enough to do some work with New Zealand Trade and Enterprise last year. We went and interviewed some farmers, they weren't customers of ours, and for a lot of them, public perception of farming was a major concern or a major issue for them. There's so many terms that get bandied around to people who aren't involved in the agriculture industry, and it's very easy to point a finger at a dairy farmer. And so if we're able to bring genetic solutions to farmers that literally have, there's no other cost involved. You know, these cows are high index. The bulls that we've got are high indexing bulls. They have the gene within them that enables, you can guarantee if you're using that, they're going to produce a polled calf out of that. Then that can only be good, and there's no real trade-off to the farmer. So, and that's something that genetics is able to do. It's something that we've developed on our own.
Is that a world first? Is it?
I don't know if you call it a world first, and there's a lot of people out there who are polled. It's not a new technology, but to be able to get it to a point, we had 3 bull calves born last year that are all have the gene within them, so that out of those bulls we can guarantee that the calves will be polled animals. So, and they've come out of high or elite animals, so they're high indexing animals. So that's a real win. So for us to be able to launch that next year is something that is pretty exciting, that we're looking forward. But yeah, the key.
Interesting you say that perception though, that public perception is so vital, isn't it? I mean, again, the grass-fed beef, it just appeals, doesn't it? The thought of it appeals more than eating bloody pellets of whatever.
Well, exactly, and a lot of the people who consume our product all around the world, here and all around a lot of them now really do care about how that animal has been treated in its lifetime, or how that product got to them, and what was involved in getting it to them. So that's a really big thing, and as we're a big part of the dairy industry here, and genetics is where it starts, or you can say it starts the grass or the soil and that sort of thing. But there are solutions that we're going to offer next year that show how genetics can help farmers really start to be on the front foot. When they look in their toolbox for solutions for different problems, genetics needs to be up there. It is for the sheep industry, especially around facial eczema. It's the best example that we can use. But for our farmers and New Zealand farmers to look at it, and if we're able to tell that story to the wider public, then it can only be a good thing. I mean, you've only got to look in any rural newspaper at the moment, and there are double-page spreads about waterways, rivers, nutrient, how people are managing that. And so there is and that's a public perception thing. People, the people who live in Hamilton or Auckland, Wellington, who want to go and swim in a river, and they blame a dairy farmer for that, and
for not being able to.
And it's just, in a lot of those situations, it's the poor dairy farmers getting blamed for everything. Where there's numerous inputs, if you like, that make those kinds of things happen. So,
exactly. So genomics and genetics, are they one and the same thing? Or
pretty much.
How do you describe that too?
I've been in the role 2 years, and I'd been selling electric fencing before that for 15 years at Gallagher. So there was certainly no genomics or DNA involved in that, other than feeling a thump down a wire. Yeah. So it was new to me. So look, I'm certainly no expert, but it really is the opportunity now for science and genomics, DNA, however you want to refer to it. The science that is coming into our industry now is going to probably, or we believe, will substantially change the way that people breed and the way that they manage their herd. In Holland now, our parent company CRV in the Netherlands, they have a genomics program where they have been doing it for so long, and their reliability and the accuracy is so high that pretty much when the calf is born, you can map how that calf is going to perform in its life and make the decision to keep her or cull her at that point. And for farmers over there, the dollars is about €1,400 to raise that calf. If you were going to raise her through, and they can save €1,400 per animal purely on doing a genomics test or DNA test, whatever you want to refer to it, to recognise what she's going to produce, what kind of health, her longevity, how much she's going to produce, what she's going to produce. You can see all that from genetics. So while we're perhaps not so much in its infancy here in New Zealand, we throughout the industry, it has been rolling for quite a while, and we're about to launch into a program next year that will enable us to increase our level of accuracy when we're starting to make calls around it. So that's pretty exciting.
So do you have an R&D team, or do you have does most of your progress come from overseas, or how does it work?
We have our man here, Phil Beatson. He's our lead geneticist. He runs our research and development team. He's forgotten more about genetics than I'll ever learn. So he's I refer to him as our Yoda. He is right up there when it comes to genetics here, and he's now imparting all of his knowledge onto the wider team that's below him, and our innovation team. And also, I mean, he's not going anywhere, you know, so we're sort of utilising him. And the fantastic thing that we have, being based here in our business unit at CRV Ambreed, we have access to the world leading scientists based all around the world to get access to that technology. We can see how they have rolled it out. We can, you know, go and talk to our partners in Australia or South America, North America, to see how they have rolled programs out to make them successful, so that all the learnings that we've had around the world from a global perspective, we bring them to New Zealand, you know, adapt them to our local. So it's thinking global and acting local.
So how important to you is word of mouth?
Word of mouth is extremely important to any business. It doesn't matter if you were selling hats in Hamilton to selling genetics around the world. Word of mouth is probably the most powerful form of advertising that you can have. We have a number of customers within our, you know, we are very fortunate who absolutely have been breeding with Ambreed for 25, 26 years, and you'll find that their neighbours, their friends of friends around them will see the living proof of that, walking around the paddock and how the animals look, and to then how much milk they have in the vat. So it's something that I haven't yet. It's a skill that a lot of our staff have, a lot of long-termers. They can literally drive down a road, you know, and go, that's one of our herds, that's not, that's one of our herds, that's not.
So you're feeling pretty good about the future, and there's some good developments coming, and excited about what's around the corner?
Yeah, very much so. You know, I've had the opportunity to talk to some of the biggest dairy farmers in the country about some of the products that we're, you know, looking at releasing, and I'm extremely excited about it. I believe that it will change the New Zealand dairy industry. It really is an industry good story that we have to tell. And all of these big farmers that I've been talking to and spent time with, they all 100% are agreeing and are as excited about it. So we have Dairy NZ also, you know, they too are seeing the possibilities for what genetics can offer as solutions to dairy farmers moving forward is neat, and it's fantastic. Personally excited that you know, I'm in an organisation that we believe that we're leading that, but it's certainly not about trying to keep that to ourselves once we go forward with it, because it really is an opportunity for every dairy farmer to look at what is going to be on the table next year and make a choice that can help them comply, you know, there's all kinds of things that dairy farmers are having to do now to manage their business before they can get any profit out. They've got a lot of costs to cover, you know. So looking at that, and if we're able to offer a solution there through the genetics, then we think that it's a real win for the industry. Fantastic.
Well, Matthew, really enjoyed chatting. I can sense your infectious desire for what you're doing, so it's great. Well done. Matthew Macfie, Sales and Marketing Manager for CRV Ambreed. That is our point of view for another week. We thank you so much for watching, and we'll have another point of view at the same time next week. We'll see you then.